Hello students, welcome to this lecture. So in this lecture we are going to see about the current locus of for constant power developer in the synchronous motor. So also we will be going to see about the current locus for the constant excitation 2 in this video itself. So normally for any motor the mechanical power developed will be equivalent to the input power minus the armature copper losses uh, which are prevalent in any type of motors. So that can be given for the synchronous motor as shown here, V into Ia cos phi minus Ia square Ra. So in this particular equation, whenever we are dividing Ra on the both sides, so we will be having the equation as Ia square minus V divided by Ra into Ia cos phi, which is equal to, so this P mechanical will be coming this side and these terms will be gone to that side. So we will be having the answer as P mechanical divided by Ra. Since this particular equation seems to be an equation for cosine rule, so in order to make this equation to be converted into that represents a cosine rule, we will be adding both sides V by 2Ra the whole square on both sides in order to making this particular equation as an cosine rule equation. So in order to do that, add V by 2Ra the whole square on both sides. So if you are adding this particular term into this equation, so we will be having Ia square minus V divided by Ra into Ia cos phi plus V by 2Ra the whole square, which is equal to minus P mechanical divided by Ra plus V by 2Ra the whole square. And also for this particular term, so for this particular term we will be having the particular term as V by Ra into Ia cos phi. So in order to have this particular equation as an cosine rule equation, we need to have this particular term to become on this particular term also. So in order to do that, we will be having the 2 as an denominator, and we will be multiplying and dividing 2 on this particular term itself, because by doing that our generality cannot be violated. So we will be multiplying 2 on this particular term and dividing the same 2 on the particular term. We will be getting this equation as A cos phi plus V divided by 2Ra the whole square, which is equal to minus P mechanical divided by Ra plus V by 2Ra the whole square. So from this particular equation we can come to that this particular equation will be giving a particular triangle which is having IA as one side and V by 2 RA is another one side, and the angle between these two sides will be phi. So by making that particular concept into our mind, we will be drawing a particular triangle which is lying on this particular y-axis, which is going to be set as an Vt, that is the terminal voltage, and on the terminal voltage we will be putting this particular Vt divided by 2 Ra, that is V divided by 2 Ra, and we will be having the term as Ia as another particular current vector. So that will be on the other side of this particular triangle. So the subtended angle between these two sides will be phi, and the third particular side will be this term. So this term can be significantly told as V by 2 Ra the whole square minus P mechanical divided by Ra. Since this particular term will be having the third particular page's length the square, because the cosine law will be saying a square is equal to b square plus c square plus 2bc cos theta or phi, whatever the angle being subtended by the b and c pages of an triangle. So in order to having that particular thing into this particular triangle, we will be having this particular triangle, the page of this particular triangle will be root of, that is making the root of this particular term, we will be having that resultant term be like root of Vt divided by 2 Ra the whole square minus P mechanical divided by Ra. So this is going to be the third term, and this particular current locus will be following this particular triangle to be developed by making this k into k dash. The power developed will be increased. So this particular triangle will be this particular locus of this current vector will be following a circle. So in this circle also we can come to that this particular current vector will be growing upon this particular locus of this circle, and this particular circle, this locus will be meet in this particular point when the delivered mechanical power is going to be maximum. So when the particular power developed is increasing from this point to along this particular circle locus and reaching by this point, the mechanical power will be maximum. So the maximum mechanical power can be found out by making this particular, because when this particular vector is going to be in phase with this particular Vt, then this Vt divided by 2 Ra the whole square minus P mechanical divided by Ra, this term will be converted into 0. So the mechanical power developed will be found out by making this particular term as 0. So we can make that here maximum mechanical power developed will be got by root of Vt by 2 Ra the whole square minus P mechanical divided by Ra, that is this term will be equivalent to 0. So when this particular term is going to be equivalent to 0, then our P mechanical, that is the maximum mechanical power developed, will be Vt divided by 4 Ra square. And we can make this particular equation to be derived from other conditions too. When the mechanical power developed will be the power input. So for the maximum mechanical power condition, the power input will be Vt into Ia. But we know that at the maximum mechanical power developed, the Ia will be equivalent to Vt by 2 Ra. Why? Because the Ia and this particular Ia vector will be in phase with this particular Vt vector. So this Vt vector will be having this particular distance to be covered from up to this particular center of the circle. So this Ia current vector will be in phase with this particular vector, so that the Ia vector will be equivalent to Vt by 2 Ra when the maximum mechanical power is developed. So we will be having this particular current of the maximum mechanical power developed will be Ia is equal to Vt divided by 2 Ra. So since the current at the maximum mechanical power developed will be Vt by 2 Ra, then the power input, that is the power input, will be Vt into Ia. So Vt into Vt by 2 Ra. So the equation will be Vt square 2 Ra. And also the armature copper loss can be found out by Ia square Ra. So Ia square will be Vt divided by 2 Ra the whole square into Ra. So the resultant will be Vt square divided by 4 Ra. So this will be the maximum armature copper loss that can be developed in a particular machine. So at the maximum power, the efficiency will be 50%. As we know, the efficiency at the maximum power will be 50%. Since the efficiency is going to be very much lower, the temperature which is developed due to the maximum mechanical power developed will be enormous. So the maintenance of the maximum power developed from a particular motor is not practically it is not viable. So the maximum mechanical power developed cannot be a practical one. As this is a theoretical discussion, we can make this particular discussion to be a theoretical one. So the above equation which we have derived here will be taken now also, like by rearranging this particular equation, that is making this particular terms to be coming this side, then V by 2 Ra the whole square and V by 2 Ra the whole square will be getting cancelled by making these two terms to be placed over in this fashion. So the equation will be Ia square minus 2 Vt divided by 2 Ra into Ia cos phi plus P mechanical divided by Ra, which is equivalent to 0. So by making this particular equation as the quadratic equation, that is ax square plus bx plus C is equal to 0. So the root of this particular equation can be found out by x is equal to minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So I will be saying the final equation of Ia will be as Vt by 2Ra into cos phi plus or minus root of Vt divided by 2Ra cos phi the whole square minus P mechanical divided by Ra. So from this equation we can come to that we will be having two types of Ia values may be possible. But whenever we are having this particular Ia value as positive, that is if you are using positive value, then the machine will be at unstable working condition. And if it is going to be negative, then the machine will be at stable operating condition. So whatever may be the condition we need in practical, we will be having those conditions to be operated the particular motor. So the next we will be going to see about the current locus for constant excitation. Welcome to this lecture. In this video we are going to see about the current locus for the constant excitation. So we will be taking the Vt as an base vector, and we will be having the constant current excitation. So since we need to have the constant excitation, the del should be constant. So in order to del should be constant, so in order to have the constant excitation, we need to have the Vt to be in base vector, and Ef to be will be in angle of delta. So we will be having this particular constant excitation, so that this delta will be constant. But since the delta is going to be constant, the other side of this particular triangle, that is the Vt, will be having so the other side of the triangle will be subtended by the loss of the machine, that is going to be Ia Zs. So the angle subtended by that particular loss will be theta, that is the load angle of the particular machine. So we will be having the particular triangle to be excitation, a constant excitation triangle, but this Ia Zs will be varying depending upon the variation of the load. So we will be having a locus of this particular Ia Zs to be a circle, which is going to be a loss circle. So if you are dividing the each and every values of this particular triangle by Zs, we will be having this Ia Zs to be converted into the current locus, because Ia Zs divided by Zs will be a current. So we will be having that particular locus to be a current locus, which is drawn from another point that is called as P, which is going to be a center point for a current locus, and this particular center point can be found out from the Vt, which is being divided by Zs, so that the particular vector will be the Vt divided by Zs, and eventually this particular Ef will be divided and will be got as an EF divided by ZS, and our IA will be a locus from this particular VT, and that vector will be subtending by an angle of phi from the VT. So we will be having this particular locus to be developed when this particular delta is going to be a constant one. If the delta is going to be equivalent to the phi, if the delta is going to be equal to phi, so for some cases delta will be equal to phi. So this will be the maximum value of the delta, because the value of the particular delta cannot be varied beyond the load angle of the particular machine. So the delta will be equivalent to phi, which is going to be the maximum value of the delta. At this particular condition, the machine will be operating at stable operating condition. And also the delta can be varied beyond del phi also. So if that is going to be the case, then the machine will be making unstable. So the unstable machine may be going out of the synchronization. So if the delta is going to be equivalent to phi, that is going to be a stable operation, and if the delta is going to be greater than the phi, then it will be unstable operation. So we will be having the locus of this particular IA by making this particular triangle, which is going to be taken as an cosine rule of this particular delta, and if this particular second triangle, then by cosine law we can write IA square is equal to VT divided by ZS the whole square plus EF divided by ZS the whole square, because that is going to be the another side of this particular angle delta. So VT divided by ZS the whole square plus EF divided by ZS the whole square minus 2VT divided by ZS into EF divided by ZS into cos delta. So here in this equation also the delta will be equivalent to phi, then the particular machine will be giving a stable operation, but if the delta is going to be greater than phi, then the machine will be giving the unstable operation.